Hello, I'm Patrick Geary. This is my first cultural interview for General Psychology 2301, Professor Kurt Johnson. So for this interview, I chose to examine the cultural difference of gender. The subject that I interviewed is female, assigned female at birth, identifies as female. So we took some time to examine the differences and obstacles that she may have had to go through that I might not have. One of the things that was most interesting to me was her perception of female beauty standards and how that was used for and against her um, as she was growing up and developing into a fully formed human lady. So early she was expected to fall into specific roles, particularly in school. Um, it was a little looser at home than it was at school, but at school she was expected to be a little more ladylike, and to not necessarily excel in the subjects that she did, which was math and science. And in those subjects, as she was learning and excelling, she had to prove herself a little more. Part of this was because she was, as she said, the youngest of three sisters and the ugliest before puberty in particular. So she felt that she was required to, in order to navigate that status, um, she had to acquire other skills, and some of that involved like getting by on either like wits or intellect or just perseverance in general. So it taught her some things, in her estimation, that she may not have, or that her sisters were not. It was not impressed upon her sisters. So I found that pretty interesting. Talking about her home life as well. She's the youngest of three sisters, like I said, and she was allowed a little bit more lenience to be herself at home. Um, so she could essentially develop some of those skills that she required to navigate the social situations. Lastly, I also found it interesting that by the time she did hit puberty and developed into a woman, that she found it much, much easier to be able to use those skills that she generated early, be it through like wit and intellect, but also her newfound femininity to make a situation favorable to her. So not necessarily manipulation, but some form of manipulation. So yeah, it was interesting. Thank you.